over to our wonderful presenter, Miss Letitia Rudy.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. All right, we'll go ahead and just get started. Here we go. Good morning to everyone. So glad you're here. Glad you could be with me today. You are in the session Stop, Collaborate, and Listen. I'm not going to sing it either because I'm not the famous Vanilla Ice. But this is Tech Tools for Student Learning, and we are focused on collaboration. As you know, we are in a time of social distancing, and possible virtual learning is what we may be looking at this fall. So we want our students to still be able to collaborate. My name is Letitia Rudy. I am a library media specialist at Summit Elementary School in Boyd County, Kentucky. I have my Twitter handles there if you would like to follow me on Twitter, and I would love to follow you back. I get so much inspiration off Twitter. It's a great tool to learn things. And there's also my email if you have any questions. I'll be glad to help you if I can. So these are the tech tools we're going to be looking at today. Google Slides, Google Drawings, Google Earth, Flipgrid, and I had Padlet on there, and I left the slide there, but I will not be covering that today. For one, I don't have time, and for two, it is now a paid platform. I didn't realize that when I'd started kind of fiddling with it and trying to use it, but after you make so many Padlets, then it asks you to pay, and so we're not going to use that today. If you want to, that's up to you. All right, why collaborate? Why do we need to collaborate with this is student collaboration. There's a pamphlet that was written by National Education Association, Preparing 21st Century Students for a Global Society, and they come up with these 4 C's for students to be a successful global citizen, and those were collaboration, communication, critical thinking, and creativity. And I've linked the guide there at the bottom if you would like to read more about that. But it says those are the things we need students to be able to do to be successful, and we have to foster those skills in our students. So they defined collaboration in these terms in that guide. And so we are not just using tech tools for the sake of being techie. We have a goal in mind, we have a focus, and that is to teach these skills while they're using this tech. So that's demonstrating the ability to work effectively and respectfully with diverse teams. So hopefully when you group students, you're grouping them in groups that you know are going to be effective, where the learning is going to be most successful, and they will be getting some diversity within those teams. Exercising flexibility and willingness to be helpful in making compromises. A lot of our students have trouble with that one. We want them to be able to work in a group where they understand they may not get everything they want, but they still have to reach that goal and work together as a team to reach that goal. And then assuming that shared responsibility for the collaborative work, not one individual doing everything, but learning from one another and being respectful with each other's ideas. So those are our goals when we are using this tech, is to teach these skills. And of course, if you're a librarian like me, if you're a librarian, raise your hand, woohoo! The AASL standards for Learners Framework has these shared foundations, and we have a whole column that is donated to collaboration for our learners. So we definitely have that right there within our standards. So if you go to this slide right here, these are actually links to a Google Slides presentation and a Google Drawings presentation. So I'm just going to pop there. I have that pulled up right here. I don't know how many people are comfortable with Google Slides. It's been around for a while. I know a lot of people use it, but we're going to kind of focus on that collaboration aspect today of using Google Slides. If you want to post in the chat how comfortable you are using Slides, go ahead, let me hear from you. But I want to show you very briefly a student example. This was a 2nd grade student that was working in Slides. This was not a collaborative project. This was just a student creating a slideshow. But I want you to be able to see even 2nd graders can work in these slides. They learned how to pick a name, how to type in a text box, how to insert a picture, how to do research. They did their research on, this was a project on Christmas around the world. Different students had different countries, and then they told the culture of those countries. So we typed in our research, we inserted our pictures, and this student even went as far, he's like, I really like this song I found in my research. I said, well, let's link it into your slideshow. So he linked it in there, and we're taught how to change the backgrounds. They had a blast with this, and that's a second grader. So if second graders can do it, anybody can use it, right? Okay, so how are we going to use this to be collaborative? These are the things we're looking at today. Sharing through Classroom, through Google Classroom. If you want assign slide numbers or topics or certain roles within that slideshow, and you're going to assign to a select group of students when you assign these slideshows. Teach them how to use the comments and reply. Teach them how to use the Explore tool. So we're going to be looking at that here in just a minute. Because these students are going to be spaced 6 feet apart. They can't sit by each other and talk. They may be virtually learning from their home. So we need to be able to have them still be able to collaborate and talk and discuss even from a distance. So that's what this is all about. So I'm going to open up a slide over here. I pulled this from the gallery of templates. You know, if you go to, I'll show you right here. If you go to the waffle and you open up slides from the waffle, you get.
So I'll kind of show you. So that's what.
Is that a question or just a mic that's not muted?
Yeah. So yeah, just hit mode.
Okay, I think it's just maybe a mic that's not muted. All right. There's all these templates up here in the template gallery. So you can pull from these templates, book reports, flashcards, and then you can tweak them and make them your own. So that's what I did with this. I used the flashcard template, and these students are going to do a butterfly life cycle. And then I put by, they can put their name. There's little quick tips in there that tells them how to replace the image. You're going to right click on the photo, replace image to build your own. And then I put where I wanted the descriptions and the titles to show them how to do this. And at the end, there's another picture at the end of this slideshow where I'm going to have them actually insert their own representation of a butterfly life cycle that they're going to create in Google Drawings. And so it says right down here, replace image, use replace image to replace this photo with the one you created in Google Drawings. So if you want the students to collaborate on this, you know, our typical way we push out a template of a slideshow is to make a copy for every student. Well, in this case, we want groups. We want collaborative work. So you're going to take this butterfly life cycle, and when you click File, you're going to click Make a Copy of the entire presentation. And then you're going to assign this to groups within your classroom. So this template would be for group 1. And then you would go back to that slideshow again, File, Make a Copy, entire presentation. And this one is going to be renamed Group 2, and so forth. And you just continue to do that for however many groups you're going to be dividing your class into. So then when you go over here to your Google Classroom, where is my Google Classroom? Looks like I closed up. All right, when you go into your Google Classroom to assign this, I have a lot of Google Classrooms since I'm a librarian and I have all the classes in the building. You're going to click the one where you want to assign it and go to classwork. You're going to create a new assignment. Create assignment. Down here, okay, we'd have to title it, of course. You can't assign anything without a title. Give directions of what you want them to do. And then when you click add, most of the time we go from our drive and we'll upload whatever it is we want to upload. And then right here where it says students can view the file, we're used to making a copy for each student. Then each student is working separately on their own copy of that life cycle. That's not what we want to do today. We want to put them in groups to work collaboratively. So you go up here where it says all students on the right, click all students, and you can see all the students are checkmarked. This is going to everyone. Unclick up at the top where it says all students, and then you will group the students and check mark the ones you want to be in group 1. There's my group 1 students. Remember, you can always add a point value for your project. You can add a due date when you want this to be turned in. And you can even add a rubric, create your own rubric or reuse a rubric that you've had previously. All right, and then when you go over here to add, you're gonna add in Google Drive. You're gonna go, there's my group 1. It's in my recent. When I hit Google Drive, it's in my recent because I just made it. Group 1. I'm going to insert, and right now only students can view it. So I have to remember to click the drop-down menu, and students can edit. I don't want to make a copy for each student because I want that entire group of 4 students to be working on the same slideshow so students can edit the file. And then you would hit assign. Then those 4 students have access to that slideshow.
Letitia, there was a question about how will the students know which group they're assigned to?
It will pop up in their Google Classroom. Just like when students go into classwork and they have an assignment that's assigned to them, those 4 students will have that document assigned to them in their classwork, just like they would a regular assignment.
Okay, thank you. And there's another question that says, please explain how you drop the slideshow again.
How you drop the slideshow into, okay, create assignment. And then you click add. I have already created that slideshow, so it's in my drive. Once you've created it, it's in your drive. Go to Google Drive. And right here it says recent. It's right there under my recent. This one would be group 2. And I would insert group 2 over here where it says all students. This time I'm going to click a different group of students that's going to be in my group 2. And once again, where it says students can view file, make sure you change that to students can edit file. Any more questions?
That's all we have for now. Thank you.
Okay, all right.
Oh, one more.
Okay.
Is this for high school kids? Do you think it is necessary for me as the teacher to make a template and share it out?
You could, instead of like making an actual template, if you want to give them full reign of creativity, you may just title a slide, just a blank slide, title it, just so that you have a copy yourself that you're in charge of, because that's making you the owner of it when you're pushing it out. So,
and it's, yes, thank you. And it says for collaboration, do you assign a slide to each student?
You could, that's a choice you'd have to make in your classroom. Do you want them to be able to decide on their own how they're going to collaborate? Do you want to assign, okay, you're inserting the images and you're inserting the research, or you're going to do the odd number slides, you're going to do the even number slides. You would have to decide as a teacher how you think the students are going to work best.
And there is one more question about, are these slides available in a printable list for reference?
In a printable list.
In a printable list form. I guess in your presentation anywhere, do you have it, the link that you gave to your presentation, do you have anything like that?
Yes, in my presentation, if you click on the little slides icon, it takes you to this slideshow.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Now,
sorry, there's some more popping up. I apologize. Can the students post comments of their collaboration with the slide work they submit?
Comments of their, like post their comments along with it?
I'm assuming that's what that means.
Okay. Yes, and that's, I was getting ready to get to that as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. One of the things you're going to want students to be able to do is comment, reply, and use the Explore Google search feature. You need to make sure you teach students how to use those things, and that's what I'm going to show you. So over here to the right, up at the top by the word present, there's the comment button. Make sure when you're using the comment button that you teach the students to click where they're referencing. Like if I wanted to talk about this quick tip right here, that's what I'd need to click on when I hit comment. Then click the plus button to make your comment. Change this tip. All right, and then when you click comment, when the other person goes to read it and they click on it, I'm going to click off of it for a second. When I click on change this tip, the comment, it highlights over here in the slideshow where I'm referencing. So make sure they're clicking on the part they want to reference. And then they can reply. Teach the students how to reply. I will change it. Now, I would make sure to teach students to resolve comments once they fix whatever has been commented about. Try to tell them not to delete them, make sure they just resolve them so they can go back to them later. Because if they're resolved, you can always go back and look at them again and reopen those comments if I want to run that conversation. Okay? So make sure you teach students to use the comment section. All right, and then over here to the bottom right, I don't know if people pay much attention to this little star-looking Explore button down in the right corner, but when you click Explore, you have a Google search window that pops up. Maybe as they're doing this butterfly life cycle, they don't have their research right in front of them and they forgot, oh, what was the name of that third stage in the life cycle? Stages of the butterfly, there it is, life cycle. So they can search right straight from their slideshow, and there it pops up, egg, larva, pupa, adult. Oh, right, it was the pupa. So then they can go in and put it in. So obviously I would have them do the research and have that ready before they started this slideshow. But if there was something quick they needed a reference on, they need to know that they can do that right there with the Explore button, if you've not used that before. Now, one of the really cool things is once these students create these presentations, you want everyone to be able to watch each other's presentation. You want that cooperative learning where they're learning from one another. So I just learned this week from Jason Reed, Google Forms Wizard. He did a session in, I think it was IFL or was it Kentucky Go Digital? Well, one of those. Anyway, he showed us how to create a Google form where you have everyone share their links. So just a basic Google form that you open up and you just type in share your link below. And right here, there's a place for a URL. You want to make sure that they're able to share their URL. And then they would just go to a slideshow, click share, get that shareable link, just copy it. Copy that link right here. Oh, wait a minute, I've got to go into student view. There you go. This is what it would look like from a student's point of view. Share your link below. They would just click in to put their answer in, right click, paste. There's their shareable link. submit. And then when I go back to look at the responses, I just click this little spreadsheet button. It says view responses in sheets. It's going to make a spreadsheet of those responses. When I click that, there's all the links to all of the students' shared slideshows. And then you can share that with your students so they can all go in and look at slideshows. How cool is that? That was like one of my big takeaways from that presentation I saw with Jason earlier. I just thought that was amazing. So everyone can share their slideshows with one another and watch each other's slideshows. All right, let's move on to Google Drawings.
We had another couple questions real quick.
Okay.
One, just kind of something for you to check later, I guess. When they click on your slideshow, it says they need permission to access it. So
Which slideshow?
it says when I click on the slide icon, I need permission to access. So I'm not sure if that's the one that you posted
The Google Slides?
in the comments. Yes.
Okay.
And
I'll fix that later.
that's what. And is the purpose of comments to provide feedback?
They should be working with a group of students. So the comments could be, okay, I'll change that. That doesn't look right. We need to add more information. Let me add another picture, whatever. There's too much clutter on this slide. Let's add a new slide. Whatever the students are commenting about the slideshow, the presentation they're creating.
Great, thank you. Last one. Are the images in the Explore feature already cleared for copyright use?
I believe they are. I checked that once before, and when you go from when you go into your insert image, search the web to put a web, these are supposed to already be filtered. I don't know. They're supposed to be, from what I gathered, because once I did this once where I was looking up stuff, and then I went into the search feature where you can actually filter it according to fair use, and I was getting the same images. So I think so, but I wouldn't swear to it.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, Google Drawings. I don't know how many people have used Google Drawings. I love Google Drawings. I did this presentation right here that I'm getting ready to show you with a couple of other librarians that also love Google Drawings. We did this presentation together, and there's so many things you can do with it. And I heard someone say, well, why don't you just use slides? It does the same thing. And for the most part, it does do the same thing. But you don't always want to give a student access to 10 slides when all you want to do is a graphic design and use one page. And you can turn this into a PNG as well, where you can save it as a picture and insert it into a slideshow. So let's take a look. ELA, you can do compare contrast, 5 W's and H, story elements. You can create your own graphic organizers. Math, you can construct models to show understanding. Writing, you can use it for planning and organization. Once again, graphic organizers. Science, to create models, diagrams, cycles. And then if you do through course tasks or LDCs like my district does, usually they ask for some sort of model or graphic element to include in the final presentation or whatever to show their understanding. So this is a great way to do that. And I've worked with teachers to do that. And I'm not going to read all that, but there's lots of ways you can do it. And here's some examples. We know that students are probably not going to be able to use a lot of math manipulatives this year with their hands. So if they have technology, they can create those same models in a diagram or in a Google Drawing. Social studies, timelines, where do I live? Science, and these are the ones you're looking at right now. My students actually created these. And that's why the one picture has the extra little lines there, because I would have never done that. But they inserted a drawing, and then they had to name the parts of a plant. and describe those parts. The fossils diagram there, that was, I showed a video on fossils and they were supposed to take notes. And then they, Google Classroom was assigned this little visual and they had to fill in the little circles with the facts that they had written down from the video. Once again, LDCs or TCTs, you can make rock cycles, water cycles. All you have to do is teach the students how to use these little tools. And they love to insert those arrows and insert those images. They love it. Graphic design. Once again, maybe you don't want to have every student in your class present a slideshow that's 10 slides long. Maybe you want all their research on a one-stop shop. You can look at that one graphic and say, okay, there's all the information that I thought was most important for you that I learned about this animal. And it makes for presentations a little quicker and allowing everyone to share and still get all that information. And I love that we're teaching students down here in elementary to cite their sources. And this is something I do at the beginning of the school year with my students. When I'm teaching them to use Google Drawings, and I'm going to go ahead, if you have a split screen or if you can do this with me, I want you to go to the Google Drawing screen. So if you can split your screen or if you can get to it, let's open up a window here. And sadly, I don't know why, I have yet to figure this out. When you click on the waffle, drawing is not one of the choices in the apps. I don't know why. I don't know how to put it there. I've tried to figure it out and haven't been able to. But just like with all Google tools, if you will go up here to the Omnibar and type in drawings.google.com. And you can do that with anything. If you can't get to your waffle, slides.google.com, forms.google.com, and it will go directly to a slide or a form or a drawing. So drawings.google.com. I think I put I had a comment period there. And it will take you straight to a drawing. All right, are you with me? Okay, now, the same thing as with Google Slides. It has the same tools up here. You title your drawing, butterfly life cycle. This is where they would actually create the life cycle that they're going to put into their slideshow. They're going to create their own drawing to show understanding. So you would teach them to use these tools right up here. And when I do those, like I said, when I do the all about me that was on that last slide, I go through how to insert a text box, how to insert a shape and type inside of it, how to insert an image by either searching the web or pulling it up from your drive. And I teach them how to use all these tools up through here in that simple all about me. They learn the tools and they love talking about themselves and creating their graphic about themselves that they can share with others. So it's pretty cool. But here's the tool that I really love that I think most people overlook. If you go to Insert, are you with me? If you go into Insert, go down to Diagram, and click on Diagram. Insert Diagram. Look at all of these pre-made diagrams. How fantastic is that? Grids, hierarchy, timeline, process, relationship. I mean, that's just fantastic. I love it. And then, of course, there's the cycle, which is what we're looking for right now. So you click on the one you want to create, and there's even more inside that. There's several different types of cycles that I have to choose from. I go up here, steps, and I have to decide how many steps are there in a butterfly life cycle. There's four stages. So I would click on the 4, and that is a negative to this. It only goes up to 5. So if you have something you're wanting to show 6 of, that's not going to work, or at least not with a pre-made diagram. So I would click 4, and then I can choose my favorite color for my diagram. and then I choose the one that I think will work best for my representation. I click it, and there it is. So now I have a pre-made diagram to get started. That looks pretty cool. Now, that looks pretty small to me, so I can click and highlight this entire diagram, because these are all individual text box, individual arrow. And so if I highlight the entire thing together and group it, arrange, group, now it's all one thing. And so then I can size it from there, and it sizes everything at the same time instead of trying to size something individually. All right. And then before I would push this out to students, I would go ahead, if I want to change any of the font, because my old eyes can't see that little tiny writing, if I would want to increase the font in there and maybe even tell them what I want, title, I would go ahead and tweak that before it goes out to the students. And then I could share it in Google Classroom the same way I shared the slideshow. You'd assign it to certain students that you would want to assign it to. It's not letting me because I haven't put a title in. There we go. So I would want to assign it to those certain students again. So it's the exact same thing as I did in slides. You'd want to do a group 1, a group 2, group 3. Now, if you wanted to give students control over that, you could just teach them how to use this feature and not assign a specific look. So that's up to you if you want to give them control of which diagram they choose or whatever, and how you use that. Are there any questions about these diagrams in Google Drawings?
There is one. Excuse me. It says, how did you group the image into one again?
Okay, you click and drag and highlight the entire picture so that it's all together. Go to Arrange, and then now it's going to ungroup because I'd already grouped it. So ungroup, or Arrange and Group. All right. And like I said, I try to teach my students how to learn, use all these tools up here. I go through that entire toolbar in the All About Me when I do that at the beginning of the year, so that they'll already know how to use all of those tools.
Great, thank you.
Okay, very good. Okay, let's see. Was there anything else in this slideshow we needed to look at? There it shows them how to mask an image. Oh,
someone has asked. I'm
yes.
sorry. Can you show your All About Me slide again?
Right here, the students just start with a blank canvas, and then we show them how to put like a shape in the middle and to type in that shape. Type their name in the middle. They can change the fill color. We show them how to use the little paint bucket to change the fill color. Then we can tell them to insert images that represent them, how to layer using the arranged front to back, how to layer the pictures with the shape. So we just go through the toolbar and teach them how to use all those tools.
Thank you. And then one more came up. Can you combine their drawings for one presentation, or is it all in sharing it with them?
Oh.
What is the best way?
I'm glad you said that. Okay. And this may not be exactly what you mean, but I meant to show you this. So when they get finished, what did I do with my drawing? When they're finished with their drawing, they can go to File, up here at the top, Download, and under Download, you can save it as a PNG, and it will save into your Google Drive as a PNG. There we go. Oh, why didn't that go to Drive? I'm not sure what did that. Try that again. PNG. Huh. It usually saves straight into my Google Drive. I'm not sure why it's doing that. Sorry. Well, anyway, once you save it, when I use my Chromebook, it saves straight into my Google Drive when I'm doing this on my Chromebook. Right now I'm on my laptop, so I'm not used to it. But then you can go back into your slideshow, and where they're going to put that, you're going to replace the image. My chat's in the way. You're going to replace the image in your slideshow so that it shows up in that slideshow before you turn it in. And then that would be, I guess, upload from a computer, since it just saved to my computer instead of my Drive.
Okay, well, that answers the next question, because
There you go.
somebody
So there,
asked,
I just
can they
changed
insert
it.
pictures?
Yes, you'd insert that right into your slideshow.
So you can insert pictures from their computer.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Yep, from your computer or from your Drive, either one. You can save them into your Drive or straight from the computer.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Okay, so that's finished with drawings. All right, let's go to the next slide. That was slides and drawings. I hope you got some information that you didn't already know and something that you can use with your students on those two tools. All right, the next one. I'm going to be honest, I have not yet used this with my students, but I will be using it this year, Google Earth projects. You can create customized maps and stories about places around the world. Mark the spots you care about, add text, photos, videos. So basically, you're going to create your own little slideshow in Google Earth. You can also share your maps and stories with others to collaborate, which is what we're talking about today, collaboration. So I have two little things here. This is an actual tutorial that could probably tell you better than myself how to do this. You can watch that later when we're finished. You have the slideshow saved or copied, so you can go back and watch this later, this tutorial. But if you click on the little spaceship of me, that's going to actually take you to Google Earth. So why don't you go to Google Earth with me? If you have an ability to split your screen, or you have another device and you can pull up Google Earth, do that with me, please. And you're going to click right here, Launch Earth. And sometimes when you click Launch Earth, that blue button, it takes a while to launch. I've already pulled up right here. I went ahead and did it earlier. So go ahead and launch Earth. And you should come to a screen that has these tools over to the left. You will need to sign in with your Google credentials, just like you do with anything else you use Google. You can go up here and type earth.google.com, just like we did drawings.google.com. I will take you there as well. And then you're going to be using these tools right here. Now, the search is just what it says. You can search for a place. You type in Ashland, Kentucky, where I'm from, and it's going to take you to Ashland, Kentucky. You've got this I'm feeling lucky. That just takes you to some really cool places that you'd like to look at. Voyager is really cool. I'm going to click on Voyager because I want you to just see some of this. If you scroll down just a little bit, you're going to see these different tabs that you can open. Editor's picks. And for all of, when I say Google Earth, all the math people that tuned out on me, look at this, math people, triangular structures, geometry of sustainable architecture, geometry of castles. So don't tune out, math people, you've got some tools here. And then of course your social studies, Underground Railroad, James Cook's First Voyage, and even your ELA can pull into this. Poetry around the world. You could have characters that go through travels. You could do a slideshow on the travels of a certain book character. So you can use this in lots of different ways, not just social studies. So here's what we're going to be able to do for our collaboration. You're going to go to projects. That's this little button right here. It looks like a place marker on a sheet of paper. Click on projects if you're with me. We're going to walk through it here. These are my recent projects. And I did another one. It disappeared on me. I think I may have done it under my account instead of this account. So it's saved under that one. But anyway, it's very simple to use. You're going to click New Project, create a project in Google Drive. So you're going to create your own little project now. First thing you're going to do, click the little pencil and title your project. I'm going to do, and then you add your little description. Journey through Kentucky. All right, so then you just start adding your features. That's pretty much all there is to it. When you click on New Feature, you have these possibilities here. We're going to search to add a place. So one of the places you may want to see in Kentucky is Churchill Downs. So I type in Churchill Downs, and it's showing up, Churchill Downs race course in Louisville, Kentucky, right down here. I click on it and it's going to take me right there. Now, before you turn students loose to create a Google Earth project, they should have obviously researched first. Your first step in this project would be let students research places in Kentucky. They will write little information about those places, and they will know exactly what they're going to be looking for before they start this. Now, if it's a very well-known place like Churchill Downs, it's going to give you information on it. If it's a less known place, not known as well, it may not give you information, but that's okay. You can type in your own information. I'll show you how to do that. So if you want to add it to your project, just click Add Project. And at this time, it comes up with a place for a title. You would immediately want to, if you wanted to put Churchill Downs in Louisville, Kentucky, this is where you would need to do that. Because I tried before, and it would not let me change the title after I had added it to my project. So you would want to do it now. And then you click Save. All right, so I'm going to close that. And then there's some different views over here. That's the overhead view. But if you click on this little man right here, that gives you a street view. And when I click on that, do you see all these little blue buttons? I can click on anything that's blue, and it will zoom me in to a street view. There I am. Now I'm on a street view. And then from the street view, I can toggle it around. Look at the twin spires there. I can toggle it around, and I can choose a different view. I zoom out, zoom in, and I can capture that view. It should say capture that view. Yes, you can add your own points of interest. Absolutely. That's when you do your search, you just put where you want to search, and then you can add in your own place marker, like capture this view. I'm going to capture this view. Twin Spires. And then you can add your own right here on feature. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry, I apologize. Let me add in another view. And Churchill Downs and the Twin Spires. I just added in two there. Let's search another place. Go to let's go to Mammoth Caves. Oops. There it is, Mammoth National Park. Now, as you can see, Mammoth Caves, there's no write-up on that. So add a place marker. You just ask if you can add your own points of interest. You can add your own place marker in there somewhere. Select a location. All right, so you can put your own place marker in there. And then when you add these to the project, I'm just going to save it the way it is. You can click the edit button over here where I put untitled place marker. You can click the edit feature. And when you click the edit feature, you can add in a picture yourself. Caves. And you can type in your description right here. This is a cave I went through with my family. All right, so you add your own little description there. And if you had a picture of a family trip to that cave, you could put that in right there. And then you can change the color of your marker. Let's say I didn't like the blue. I could make it a different color. And you can, you know, do these different, there's a star now. All right, so let's back out of that. Now, I have all these different things, Churchill Downs, Twin Spires, caves, Mammoth Cave. I want to have a beginning slide to start off my presentation. So when I click New Feature, go down here to Full Screen Slide. Full Screen Slide. And then I could title my entire presentation, Kentucky. And this is going to be like a slide for the beginning. Journey through, oops, I can't spell today, I'm sorry, our state. All right, and then you can choose an image. You can Google image search here. Let's see. Let's do the Kentucky State Capitol. So find a picture you want to be the background for your slide. Add that in. All right. And all of that tutorial I posted before, right here it is at the bottom. If you ever get stuck, you can just watch the tutorial for anything you're not sure on how to do. All right, so let's preview our presentation. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, there it is. That's slide 5. I forgot to rearrange those. Let me go back for a minute. Hit the back button here. When you hit the back button, all right, you can see over here on the left, there's my slides, Churchill Downs, Spires, Caves, there's the places. I can pull this slide up that I just now created. I can just drag it and drop it to the top of my presentation. So now it's the first slide instead of the last slide. So you can rearrange these by just dragging and dropping. And then when you click present, now it should be in the right order. Kentucky, journey through our state. And there it goes to Churchill Downs. And over to the Twin Spires. Now I've got a street view. The Mammoth Cave. And then onto one of those caves. All right, this is the cave I went through. All right, now, if I did not like this description, since there was no description for Mammoth Cave, when I edit it, I can click this replace. It says to add your own description. There wasn't a description. So when I click replace, I would type the description for Mammoth Caves from my research. Mammoth Cave is the largest cave system in the world and the only national park in Kentucky, whatever I want to put there. So you would type in your own description. But I will say, like where Churchill Downs has a description, you decide to edit that and replace it. Once you replace it, that description is no longer available to you in that slide. You've basically erased their description and replaced it with your own, so know that. Now, this is all about collaboration once again. So you would go up here to the little person, share project. click and share just like you would. You can type in the student's email that you want to share this with, or copy a link. When you copy a link, you can share it through Google Classroom the same way we did slides and the same way we did the drawings. So you could copy that link, and once again, you could assign it to a certain group of students. Say, okay, I'll just title it Journey Through Kentucky, and then share it, and then they decide how they want to, what they want to add and how they want to add it. So it's shared the exact same way. All right, any questions on Google Earth? And once again, okay.
It says, can you add words to the pictures is one of the questions.
Can you, yes. Oh, you mean like if you insert an image, like when I did a slide, you can see that the image is the background, and then you add your title and your description over here. So I could have typed out a whole paragraph there. So yes, you can do that. And you could add as many slides if you want. Like if I wanted to put a slide in between each one of those to describe as I go, I could put a slide in between each one of those with my research.
We also had a question about how private does the points of interest remain, I guess, after you have done your work on them. How private does that remain?
I'm not sure on that one. Like, is your project a private project? Is that what you're saying?
That's my understanding.
I'm really not sure on that. That's not something I've checked into. Projects. I'm sorry, I'm not sure on that one.
And can you show how to get to the editor's picks again?
Oh, yes, Voyager.
Please, yes.
Yeah, click on Voyager and then just scroll down under that initial picture and you'll have your editor's picks, student games. I think one of them was Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? Do you remember that? I think that's one of them. So there's your editor's picks. All right. It looks like we're running out of time and we still have Flipgrid. We got 6 minutes.
You can do it.
All right, we got 6 minutes to look at Flipgrid. And I'm going to tell you now, I've been to entire hour-long presentations on Flipgrid. So this is going to be a down and dirty as quick as I can do it. If you go back to your slideshow here, I have, if you already have the Flipgrid app on your phone, you can just type in the code here, Rudy9488. Just that's all you need, Rudy9488. Or you can click on the link itself. If you've never signed in before, you'll need to click on Empower Every Voice, and that will take you to a sign-in page. So you can enter or educator sign up. You'll want to sign in with your Google boyd.kyschools.us or whatever it is, your credentials that you use at your school, or just sign on with your educator login. Once again, when you sign in, you want to use Google sign in. All right. So Flipgrid. Flipgrid is about making short little videos that empower student voice. And you can collaborate with this, but you have to be careful. I used it some with NTI, and some of my students were just making videos to talk to their friends. So you do have to be careful. And you can moderate responses so that they're not immediately available. So this is where we should be right now. You can also sign in using a QR code, where you just use your phone to log in if you're on the initial page that shows up, the sign-in page. And what you do is you create grids. These are my grids. Grids are the house for your classroom, your group of students that are learning. So I actually have a grid for every teacher in the building that I use Flipgrid with. And so I created this one today. And you have your share button that you can share through Google Classroom. You have your actions button, and then you have your edit button. Now, in your edit button, this is very important. That's where you'll put your title when you create your grid for your classroom. You will want to do school email. When you do school email, that is where you will do, you will put stu.boyd.kyschools.us, or your teacher, just boyd.kyschools.us. You have to put that in there so that students have access to that. Because I was doing it with you all today, I did the educator learning community so everyone would have access to it. When you create your grid, you can decide if you want to get emails daily, weekly, never. I would definitely not do it every time a new video pops up, or you'd be looking at those all day. You can hide this once you're finished with it. Click a picture and change it if you would like to create your grid. Grids are easy, it's pretty intuitive. So then once you create your grid, then you're going to add new topics. The topics are the lesson for the day. And I would love for you all to, if you have this already downloaded, make a quick little video. Say hello. It says, which tech tool are you most excited about? How will you use it with your students? All you have to do is, let's see, where's my student view? Well, I don't have my student view right now. But you would just click on the plus sign, and the plus sign is going to allow you to create your own little video. And I'm going to show you in the edit here how you're doing that. Welcome to Flipgrid. Tap the green plus button below to make your video. This is the description. You can pick how long you want them to record. Remember, it's anywhere from 15 seconds to 10 minutes. If I click 10 minutes, I'm going to have to watch 10 minutes of video, because students are many times going to use their entire amount of video time, whatever time you give them. So just think about that as you're setting your time for your videos. You can click video moderation. This is what I was talking about. If you want to make sure, especially if they're working from home, that you want to watch before they post it, then click on video moderation, and this little hand is going to pop up on the topic so that it's telling them this video is moderated, so it won't immediately show up. You'll have to watch it first and then allow it to be posted. You can put in videos or links. If you have an article you want them to read, you can link it here. And then you have all of these choices down here for how you want these things you want to allow students to do and not do. If you don't want them to be able to like videos, but you do want to be able to reply, because it is about collaboration, so you want them to be able to reply to a video, then you're going to put that, click that on right here, that toggle. All right. And then here's a really cool thing. If you're using this in like high school, this is a Spark video right here. Do you see the little spark? Spark is when a video is created and you're watching that video and you're like, okay, I really like what they're saying here. That raises some new thought-provoking questions that we want to get to run with. You click Spark, and it's going to spark a totally new topic with that video. So you can create another new topic line where they're going to respond to that video that was just created. So Spark is really cool. So it always prompts you, do you want to permanently delete something? Yes, I'll permanently delete that. So as students go through and they're watching each other's videos, so they're watching one another's videos, it will have, I'm sorry, I went to the wrong thing. That was Spark. When they're watching videos, do you see the little reply button here? This little reply button is how students will reply to each other's videos. And obviously you'll want to go through and tell them, good job, that's not an appropriate reply. You need to tell me what exactly was done well, what was not done well. So the reply button is how they're going to talk to one another using the reply button. We are out of time. I'm sorry I didn't get too much with Flipgrid. There's tons of Flipgrid opportunities out there for PD, so if you haven't used it much, go to one. And the Disco Library, check it out. It has lots of pre-made topics for you to choose from. I know that was really fast, and I'm sorry, it was a lot to cover.
Thank you. You did a fantastic job. It was
Thank
really
you.
informative, and we really appreciate you taking the time to do this with us today.
You're welcome. I was glad I was able to do it. Thank you, everyone that was able to be with me today. I appreciate it. If you need anything, my email was in the slideshow, so you can email me with any questions.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.